When I was growing up, my dad and I didn't have a huge amount in common. Then, as I got older, I really got into movies and found out he liked films as well. And so we started going to watch movies together, and we still do it all the time. And my friends are always slightly surprised, especially when I tell them some of the movies that I'm going to see with my father. Like, I went to see this movie called Giulietta, which is an Almodovar movie. It's really good, but it's quite sexually explicit. And I was telling my friend about it, and my friend was like, how could you go and see that film with your dad? And I was like, there is no problem with me going to see movies with my dad. Because my dad and I, a number of years ago, crossed a threshold that we can never return to. Because in 2012, my father and I went to see a film by the director of 12 Years a Slave called Shame. That is the sound of a bunch of people who have seen Shame. Now, if by for some reason you haven't seen Shame, let me give you a quick rundown. It is about a man with a crippling sex addiction, and it has some of the most explicit sex scenes ever committed to film, right? Now, in the week leading up to this film, I knew what it was about, so I said to my dad, there's no way I'm coming to see this movie with you, right? This will be too much, this will be absolutely awful. And my dad was like, no, it'll be fine. And I was like, no, it'll be too much. He went, no, it'll be fine. No, it'll be too much. No, it'll be fine. Eventually, I caved in. We went to see the film. As soon as the credits roll, my dad turns to me and goes, that was far too much. The thing that marked Shame out as an early example of what Steve McQueen has gone on to do in 12 Years a Slave is that it has lots of long, unbroken takes. Like, he likes to involve the viewer and make you physically uncomfortable. That's one of his traits as a director, right? So in this case, it is just sex and nothing on this massive screen, and it just goes on and on and on for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, and I'm just sat next to my poor father, and he's just getting more and more uncomfortable, and it's just going on, and my dad is squirming in his seat. He's so uncomfortable, and it just goes on and on and on, just sex and then a view of Manhattan, and just on and on and on, just sex and then a view of Manhattan, and just on and on and on. And after, I don't know, 25 minutes of this, my dad, something must have just broken in his head, because he just turned to me and went, I've been there. And all I could think was, I hope he means that part of New York, because